Hello, you are welcome. I believe you are all doing well. We thank God for our lives. For our lesson today, we have comprehension, and we are going to use the passage at Unit 19, page 139 to 141. Page 139 to 141. Okay, this passage is a continuation of what we read on the other day about John and Jane who stayed or lived with their auntie. Jane is quite the opposite of John. John was adamant even though he was provided with everything he needed. So according to the passage, he went out with his friend during school hours to play ball at a place where it was forbidden. They were not permitted to do so. And in the process, he played the ball into a building and they had to flee from the scene before they were caught. And so with today's passage, we are going to find out what exactly happened and then also answer some questions under the passage. Okay. So for today's lesson, we are going to use the topic always stand by the truth. Always stand by the truth. What is the key word in the topic? I believe we understand the topic. Okay, so when you see the topic, at least something comes in mind. You can guess to know what the topic is going to be about, what the passage is going to be about. Okay. So the word truth has to do with the real facts. Okay. Truth is the real fact. Okay. That is exactly what happened. That is what the thing is, and it cannot be changed. That is truth. Okay. As children, most at times it's difficult for us to tell the truth because we perceive that our parents or our teachers, when we tell the truth, that is when they will punish us, and so we prefer to tell a lie so that we will save ourselves from receiving any form of punishment. Is that not it? Okay. So our passage today will tell us what exactly happened to John and his friends. Now, some of the key words we are likely to come across in the passage are nuisance, nuisance, finally, finally, guilt, guilt, dispersed, dispersed, logical, logical, produced, produced. Okay, I believe these words are familiar. Okay, when we say nuisance, something that causes something or someone that causes annoyance. Okay, something or someone that causes annoyance, disturbance. We say it's a nuisance. My friend Amma is a nuisance anytime she's around. Meaning your friend does things that makes you angry, that causes annoyance. Okay. Then we say finally, lastly, finally, eventually. Okay. Then when we say guilt, this has to do with the individual, the culprit doing something, and the person feels that sense of regret, that sense, yes, of remorse. Okay. Where you can tell that this shouldn't have been, but you actually did that. Then we have to disperse, means to scatter, to spread. Okay, to disperse. That is what the meaning will mean. But when we read the passage, we will find out exactly what that means. Then when we say something is logical, logical has to do with something that makes sense, something that is sensible. Okay, all right. Then we have the word produced, produced, produced. produce would have to be the end result of something. So someone gave you something and the person expect that at the end he wants to see results. So produce can also mean that. Or when a farmer plants, is that not it? Yes, the farmer harvests whatever he has planted, so the outcome of that, the outcome of something. All right, so quickly let us go to the passage at page 139. So we are using our practical English language book 6. So you must have that book with you so that we can all read along. Of late, truth is exchanged with lies in our society. Let somebody commit a crime and someone will come on air either to justify it or refute it. In your opinion, what do you think are the causes of lying in our present society? Discuss this in your groups and share your ideas with the whole class. Okay, so you do that with your siblings at home. Okay, take note that if someone is on the floor, nobody should talk. Allow the person on the floor to make his or her point first. So try this at home and you see how exciting it's going to be. Now let's move to the passage itself. So page 140 to page 141, page 140 to page 141. Now read the passage carefully and answer the questions that follow it. The following day, the boys went to school with fear. They were afraid something was going to happen, though they did not know what exactly happened since the close of school the previous day. They got to school with hearts beating, though on the outside they appeared calm. Before break time, the owner of the building came to the school. There was a call to assembly. All the pupils lined up according to their classes. Then the teachers came in to stand in front, facing the whole school. Finally came the head teacher and a stranger. In the stranger's hand was a ball, John's ball. It was the ball they had left behind and fled the previous day. The teacher took the ball from the stranger's hand and stepped forward. "Whose ball is this?" he asked. There was complete silence. They all knew the ball and its owner. John had made a lot of noise and nuisance of himself a few months before when Auntie Mimi had bought that ball for him. It was a birthday present and many of the boys had watched with envy. They wondered when they would also have a birthday present. Everybody turned to look in the direction of class 4. John, Osei, McCaffrey, Sela and Opoku had their heads bowed, a sign of guilt. No one spoke. The offenders were called forward. Since John denied being the owner of the ball, all the rest denied it too. John even said he had left the ball in the house that morning, and besides, he couldn't be the only person with that kind and color of ball. He said, "I'm very sure that the factory that produced this ball did not make only one of its kind." John's argument was so logical that everybody agreed that the boy needed to be given the benefit of the doubt. As a result, they all dispersed and went back to their classrooms. During the second break, the boys met to discuss a few things. Quite interesting. Is that not it? Okay. So we were all expecting that at least John will own up and be punished. But John didn't. According to the passage, he told a lie instead of telling the truth because he feared the consequences. Okay. So out of this passage, what are some of the moral lessons you deduce from it? What are some of the moral lessons? Very good. So if your answer is it pays to tell the truth, you are right. You tell the truth even when it is difficult to do so. Is that not it? Okay. it is good when you tell the truth because you will be rewarded. Telling the truth is the best option in every situation. Okay. All right, so that is just about the passage, and I believe we understand. Let us look at the summary of the passage. The summary of the passage. The school was called to assembly before break. The head teacher, together with a stranger, stood in front of the student body. When everyone saw the ball in the stranger's hand, they knew the owner of the ball. The question posed by the head teacher drew the students' attention to John and his gang. The head teacher called them forward. When they were asked, they all denied. John convinced the head teacher by saying that he wasn't the only one who owned that ball. Eventually, the gathering was dismissed since there was nothing to prove that John and his friends had played the ball into the building. Okay, so that is it about the passage. Now let's look at the questions. Now for our questions or for our assignment, this is what we are going to do. Unit 19, okay? So there is a correction to that. Unit 19, page 141. We are answering letter C. Letter C, 1 to 5. So number 1 to 5 is our comprehension questions to answer. Then for part B, the words we have below the statement there: logical, nuisance, finally, guilt. We are to find words nearest in meaning to each of the words below, and in doing that, we shouldn't change the meaning of the passage. I hope that is clear. All right. So this is where we end our lesson on comprehension. Hope to see you another time. Make sure you adhere to the rules of COVID-19. Be safe. Your health is our concern. Bye-bye.